Hello, everyone, and welcome to this day. I promise you it's going to be a rainy day out. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, Chuck Holland came by and sat down with Lisa, and their main topic were those TiVo boxes. So you're going to learn all about that. There was a few other things in there that they talked about, a cable system update, but those boxes are pretty darn neat. I wish I could get them where I live instead of the one that I have. They're really cool. Find out all about that. Also, Lisa's going to tell you, because Jennifer Carmarker is not available today, Lisa's going to tell you all about the latest headlines in the Globe, and I think she may even have a couple letters to the editor that she might tell you about as well. Then we're going to have a guest on from United Way and their homelessness initiative, so we'll talk about that. That is huge right now, and it's a good topic because you probably heard what's going on in neighboring Laguna Niguel and some of the other places as well. So we'll hear all about that. Now, as far as meetings today, there is only one. It is the agenda prep meeting for United at 9:30 in the Sycamore Room. And I wanted to remind you folks that there are two vacancies available, one on United and one on GRF for the boards. If you're interested in either one of those, what you need to do is fill out an application. And the one for GRF, you need to turn in by the 28th, March 28th, which is a Wednesday, by noon. The one for United will be on Friday, March 30th. Now, if you're interested, these are shortened terms because they're fill-in. You can find out more about that. And I think the one I know for United is just to October. The one for GRF is a little bit longer. It's November 2020. So that's pretty close to a full term. So let me get out of the way here, excuse me. And if you're interested, you can call Catherine Laster at 949-597-4265. Email her at catherine.laster@vmsinc.org. Or to get your application, you can find it online. You can come up here to the Community Center building on the second floor and get one there. So again, for GRF, that needs to be turned in on the 28th, which is a Wednesday by noon. And then for United, it needs to be turned in by Friday, the 30th by noon, if you're interested. Again, United goes to October, so it's pretty short. However, the GRF one, that will go all the way to November 2020, so that's almost a full term. It's about 2.5 years, 2 years, 4 months, whatever it is, versus 3 years. So keep that in mind, all right? Now, let's get to the weather. And as I said earlier in the week, if this system kind of stalled out or went slow, it would take a while to get down here, and it keeps getting pushed back. A lot of rain, by the way. The bulk of this rain has been hitting anywhere from San Luis Obispo, Central California, in that area, all the way down to Ventura. That's where they're getting hit hard, 3, 4, 5 inches so far. And this system actually extends all the way up to Eureka and the Bay Area all the way down. If you're watching us in the morning, right now we are surrounded by a lot of rain. We've had a little bit come in so far, but it is due to come in. And again, the heavier rain for this area looks to be afternoon today, into the late afternoon and into the evening. Still expecting a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain, maybe a little bit less than first thought. However, some forecasts show still it's a possibility of 2 inches of rain. And the reason is this is a slow-moving tropical storm. You've probably noticed if you've been outside, it's a lot warmer today. Our house, we were 8 degrees warmer than we were yesterday at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I think we were like 62, so pretty darn warm. So that produces a lot more rain. There's a low pressure system above this that's kind of pushing it down. So again, let me get out of the way here. You can see the temperatures around Orange County today, and we're all, not bad at all. I mean, this is not a cold system, you can see. And when you look at Big Bear, they may get a little bit of snow coming into Thursday, Friday on this. However, this is a pretty warm system, so they're going to get more rain, but it is expected that they may get a little bit of snow coming in tonight into Friday. For us, We may get the rain spilling over into tomorrow morning, and then by midday will be partly cloudy, and then as we go forward, we're going to have some nice weather. We're going to see some sunshine going on and on and on from Saturday all the way into next week. So we need the rain. Hopefully for us here, it's going to kind of linger instead of big cells all at once. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Answers Today is a great program that we've just started at our Laguna Hillside. A woman has a new symptom in their breast, whether it's new breast pain, breast lump, a rash on their breast that's new. They can call in and get into the office within 24 hours and be seen by a physician and have some imaging to have an answer before the end of that day. So this is a very powerful program. I would much rather spend the rest of my career preventing cancer than actually treating it.
Hi, welcome back. Well, we have Chuck Holland here with our VMS Director update, and boy, does he have some good information for us on our broadband. Well, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Nice to see you again, Lisa.
You too. And I know last time we talked a lot about the different services that are available, but now we're going to dive in a little more, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What we're here to talk about today is a lot of our broadband services initiatives that we've done over the past 2 years, and where we're going with the future of broadband as it relates to new products and services. Products and services like whole home DVR. We know over the last couple of years, we've been really spending a lot of our time on infrastructure updates. The upgrades. All of these particular upgrades, all this heavy lifting that we're doing behind the scenes, it gives us the ability to start offering new services like the whole home DVR services. What we've done over the last couple of years to get ready for this is, and you've probably seen some of these updates before, is first and foremost, we have to make sure that our network has the transmission capacity, that we have enough internet speed and the transmission capacity to make these new TiVo and these new modern over-the-top services work.
Right.
So as part of that modernization effort, you've seen that we replaced our Simulsat satellite dish. That was a huge undertaking to provide new satellite capabilities for our entire cable network. We also upgraded all of our lasers out there at all of our nodes to triple the bandwidth speeds to our homeowners out there at no additional cost. And we also have started removing our analog services to free up that transmission capacity.
Right.
With the analog television stations, they take up 3 times as much more as a regular digital station. So as part of our analog digital conversion, our first set of analog channels that we removed were in February of this year. Now, our second set of channels that we're going to be, analog channels that we're going to be removing are on April 9th of this year. So coming up very, very soon.
Right.
Now, what that does, by increasing the bandwidth speed and reducing the amount of transmission capacity that's on the network by reducing analog channels, that's really going to free up the resources that we need to start offering these new services.
Right, and then you also had mentioned that there's new lasers. So
yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, the lasers, it's not like the laser that you would think from a sci-fi movie where you're shooting a laser or anything like that. It's just, we have a very extensive fiber optic network here. Right. It's probably one of the largest privately owned fiber optic networks in Orange County,
right.
I'm sure. And what it is at the end of each fiber optic cable, you have to have a laser, and that's how it communicates.
Okay.
Those particular lasers both are forward-facing lasers that shoot light from the head end out to the nodes, and from the nodes back to the head end. Those are all the lasers that we replaced. That's really, before we had 32 nodes, only 16 lasers, so one laser was going back and forth. Now we have one dedicated laser going forward and one dedicated laser going back. So that essentially doubled our transmission capacity there.
Oh, that's great. So then people generally won't have any issues as far as you're concerned.
Right, as far as I'm concerned right now, if we rolled out the whole home DVR solution right now to all the people who wanted it, there's not enough capacity on our network and there's not enough bandwidth on our network right now That's why what you're going to see is as we reduce the number of analog channels, it's going to increase the capacity that we have. That'll enable us to add more people to the new whole home DVR services.
Right, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later.
Yeah,
Okay, so tell me a little bit about, one thing I don't think we talked about is the emergency alert system.
Oh yeah, so as part, also some of those, the internal cable head-end technology, that always is being refined, upgraded, and one of the new things that we're looking at is adding the additional, not additional, but replacing our aging emergency alert system. The system we have in place now, I think it's 15, 20 years old, and so we realize that sometimes it's problematic and it's analog based, so moving to a digital based solution, and so if there's ever an emergency in the area, it's a more efficient way to communicate with the outside world, and particularly the
Our outside world.
With the local agencies, right?
Oh,
There's
good.
like a fire,
Right.
earthquake, and that kind of, for the emergency responders to broadcast on our network. So
Perfect.
that's something we're doing as well.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's have tell me a description of the whole home DVR. So
Right.
tell me what that means.
Well, that's right. A lot of people, I think, are having the misconception that this whole home DVR is just something that they're just going to buy to replace their 2-channel DVR that they have right now. I just want to let people know that the whole home DVR is really that. It's really a type of technology that you want to have installed, not just in your main viewing area, but in your bedrooms, your den, your office as well.
Right.
That way that you can have one DVR in your home, and you can record and play shows from any room from one device. We have a lot of customers out there now that they have multiple DVRs. They'll have a DVR in their living room and they're recording their 2 shows in their living room, and then they have a DVR in their bedroom and they're recording their shows in their bedroom. So
Right.
now, guess what happens? If I want to see the shows I recorded in the bedroom, I got to watch them in the bedroom. If I want to see the shows that I recorded in the living room, I got to watch them in the living room. With the new whole DVR services, you'll be able to record shows from any room and watch them from any room from one
Right.
device.
Right.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that. It's not just, this is a computer system for your home. You have a server box that goes to your main viewing area that has to be hooked up to your cable modem. Right here we have an example of what that server box looks like, right? Here's the TiVo unit, it's a couple pounds. This unit communicates with other units in your other rooms, so all those units can play DVR content from here.
Okay.
Now, you still need internet. You need cable TV, which everybody has in the community.
Right.
And you also have to have internet access, because this TiVo unit it's showing your all your channels and what you're broadcasting through your regular cable TV network, but it's also showing you all the content that you would normally stream online: YouTube, Netflix, Hulu.
Okay.
So it's all of that kind of rolled into one device.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier that it's whole home. So would you compare this, for instance, Cox Communications?
Yes.
People who don't live in the community have
Right.
that, or maybe they've come from that. How does that compare to? I think it's called Contour.
Yes, Contour.
Okay.
This is a very similar. Contour is it's a whole home DVR solution that Cox is offering. It's not TiVo. It's a different brand. We're using the same. It's the same type of technology, but we went with the TiVo platform because TiVo partnered up with NCTC. That's our cable co-op company that we partner
Okay.
with.
Okay. All right. Good. And then how many channels?
Well, it depends. Right now, if you have a TV plugged directly into the wall right now, you're really getting standard, mostly standard definition, and you're getting some high definitions if they're not encrypted. And you're only getting about 100 channels. However, if you have a set-top box, a DTA, or this particular type of unit, you're going to get up to 195 channels.
Oh.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
that includes music stations as well,
Right.
not just it's music and as well as channels. But with the TiVo unit, you're not only going to get the stations, but now you're going to have the ability to watch content over the internet as well.
Okay. All right. And then, so essentially, I think you mentioned it's like a home computer?
Yeah, really. Essentially, that's what it is. You're really this technology is like hooking up a computer to your TV at home. So not only can you watch your TV in the traditional sense, where you can do channel surfing and flipping, but now you're able to go to those apps that are integrated into the TiVo, apps like Netflix and Hulu and YouTube, and watch content over the internet. So it's like
okay.
a really,
So you still need to have internet.
You still need to have internet
Okay.
access. Exactly right.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk about the whole home DVR TiVo services now.
Okay, all right, let's get into the detail, kind of nuts and bolts. What we'll do is we'll kind of go over the features of the new TiVo unit, and then hopefully we'll get a chance to take a look and see some of the new menu systems and how some of the apps work.
Okay.
So just kind of go along with that. Again, The question has been, what's the holdup? Why are we not rolling this out right away? As I mentioned, we have 10 testers out there right now. We have to get our customer service agents trained up on how to troubleshoot it. We have to get our technical staff up to speed on how to install it, and then we have to free up the capacity to start offering it, right? So there's a very important sequence of events that we have to do. What we don't want to do is just roll a bunch of these TiVo units out there, we saturate the network, we bog everybody's internet speed down, and we don't get a good quality of service.
Right.
So right now, as we ramp up here, we have 100 people on our waiting list.
Right.
And so we're looking at, I guess probably April, May timeframe to start rolling this out. The first big thing though is we've got to remove this next batch of analog channels to free up the capacity just to get these new 100 people onto the system.
Okay, so that's why you're asking them to wait. You've got the 10 people as a test.
Yes.
And then you do the other things that you said.
Yeah, exactly. As we reduce the number of analog channels on our network, freeing up the transmission capacity, this will allow us to increase the number of people that we can offer the whole home DVR services to.
Okay. Now 100 people are waiting,
Yep.
but there's a lot of residents. So how many could you actually support?
We can support up to, we have about, right now currently we have about 6,000 homes that have some type of set-top box or DVR in them now.
Okay.
So we're looking to penetrate maybe 10 to 20% of those folks who want the whole home DVR.
Okay.
So I would imagine by the end of the year, we'll probably get a couple hundred installs done by the end of the year.
Oh, okay, that's super.
I'm not for sure if everybody wants the whole home DVR services. If you can still keep the existing DVR unit that you have now that has 2 channels or two, you can only record 2 channels at once and it has a 500 gigabyte hard drive. But that's fine. If you want to continue to use the old technology where you just want to scroll up and down and channel surf and record your shows, continue to doing what you want to do now.
Okay.
If you want to take advantage of the over-the-top technology like Hulu, Netflix, and the whole home DVR experiences, this is the solution for you.
Okay. And some of our older residents might be going, oh my gosh, still too much information for me to know. So what would you recommend there?
Yep, it's the same thing. If you have a TV at home, keep in mind analog's going away, so you have an analog TV, that's the old tube style TVs. Keep in mind you're going to need to upgrade to a digital television to get content, right? But you can have your TV plugged directly into the cable box, right into the cable wire, right into the wall, and you can channel surf just like you always do. Just channel up, down in volume, that's it. Continue to do that. The folks out there that have a set-top box or a DTA now that has one of our universal remotes, they can continue to use them just like they always have.
Okay.
It's the new feature here. So those folks, the long-term people who are used to their TV experience in one way, they're going to continue to do it. It's the new folks that are moving in, the working adults, the people who are who've grown up with technology, who are demanding this type of service.
Exactly. Okay. Well, and it's not necessary, like you said. You don't have to do it.
No, this is just an add-on feature. This is a service level add that we're doing now. We're not taking anything away of the old DVRs at all. This is just an add-on service. So
okay, let's jump in and let's take a look at all the new features. And I know that you have a system here that we've hooked up, and we're going to take a look in just a second.
Well, first thing before we do anything is let's take a look at the remote. This is the new style remote. It's a smaller form factor. It's really 2 remotes in one. The top remote right here is how we're going to be watching our live TV and broadcast. It has, you can pause your live TV, you can rewind live TV, you can record live TV.
Right.
You can also get to your guide from here. Channel up, down, volume, info, turn on your closed caption, removing turning on and off your closed caption. And there's some other, your guide, live TV, so on and so forth. The bottom half, this is where we're getting into the newer technology. This is where we're getting, you can see the Netflix button on there.
Right.
That's kind of built into it. But you can not only just use Netflix, but you can use this remote to get access to your Hulu account and to your YouTube account. Now, I think we had somebody had mentioned that you can also get Amazon Prime on here. As of right now, you cannot get Amazon Prime on here
yet. Okay.
It's something they're working on, but not available yet.
Okay.
Another thing about it is, it's really important to know, just because you get the TiVo unit doesn't automatically mean that you're getting a Netflix account and Hulu account and a YouTube account for free. Those are additional services. You have to pay for your Hulu and Netflix account separately.
Right.
This is paid for separately.
Right. You mean you have access, but you just can't necessarily.
Right.
Don't you go to
Well,
a
you can
homepage
see,
or something?
Yep, you can see the apps on here, but in order
Okay.
for you to turn the app on, it's going to ask you to log in with using your
Oh,
Hulu
right.
or Netflix account,
Okay.
so you can start seeing your content.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So that's what that looks like here. We've had some positive and negative feedback on this particular model. A lot of people don't like it. Some people love it. But it's, I didn't really like it at first, but the more I use it, it's actually really handy.
Just
it's really
getting
cool.
used to
It's
it,
just getting
sure.
used to it, right?
Right. Well, and they're probably going from several remotes
Yep.
to a single remote, right?
Thank you. Very good point. This is like a universal remote as well. I can actually change the inputs on my various different devices to control multiple devices with this one unit.
Oh, I see.
I know with I think our DVU unit now, you still have to have the remote control to turn on and off your TV,
Right.
and then a remote that uses the DVR unit. This one right here, you can program it to your TV, so you can turn on and off your TV and turn on and off your TV unit with one remote control.
Oh, that's helpful.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty-
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I know that with the system I'm using, man, we have 3 different ones, and where did that other one go? And it's always stuck in the couch somewhere.
Or the batteries are dead.
The batteries are dead, right?
Okay, so let's take a look.
All right, so let's go in.
Yeah, we've been seeing some TV in the background here. We're just going to briefly go over some of the high-level features on your phone. There's a ton of features here, but what we can do is obviously we're looking at live TV right now. We have an info button that you can hit, or I can quickly see what I'm looking at. Laguna Woods Artist Showcase, channel 406, gives us our Village Television HD. You can see the time the show's on, and then I can see if I can turn on and off my closed captions. That was one of the problems that we've had with the previous version of TiVo. You had to go to 4 or 5 different menu items to be able to get closed captioning turned on and off. Now it's within 2 clicks. Very cool. The next thing we want to take a look at is the TV guide. Very similar to what you have now. It looks a little bit different. I like it because it takes up a lot more screen. The text is pretty big.
Oh, and you can still view up here what you were watching.
You got like a little picture-in-picture deal there. And I can obviously, like any kind of TV guide, I can scroll up and down. I can see what's playing now. And if I wanted to see a show that was played earlier in the day, oh, yep, I missed my show. But I want to clear up a misconception. You can't go back in time to record a show. You can only, for your TiVo or your DVR functions, I can't go back to yesterday and record a show from yesterday. You can't do that. I can only record shows that are playing currently going forward.
Okay.
You can set your schedule.
Okay.
Okay. So it just works like anything else, right? So it's you can scroll out to the future, and then you can actually set your TiVo to record these shows. Up to 6 different shows you can record simultaneously.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So let's just take a look here. We'll keep it on. We'll listen to Woods. You can see right here down at the bottom where you see that green bar.
Give 'em the green bar.
Since we've been playing this. Excuse me. Playing. Oops. Bear with me.
Where'd our green bar go?
There we
Come
go.
back.
Let's go ahead and pull it up here. So you can see right here, that menu right here.
Yep.
We've been watching it. So now I can actually rewind, wherever that green bar goes back to, I can actually rewind live TV and then forward live TV. And I can actually pause the live TV as well.
Okay.
So that's one feature that's really interesting.
Okay.
It's actually very handy. And with the TiVo functionality, like with the apps, there's a TiVo button on here. I can scroll over here to watch TV, or I can actually look at my apps. From here on my apps, I can get to my Netflix, my HBO Go.
And do those come up automatically?
You
like
have to
as
program.
a default?
There are ones that we'll have on there that are default, but you can make your favorite list. You can control any of these icons or any of these apps. Now, keep in mind, these aren't free. A lot of these are not free apps. You have to have an account for Netflix, YouTube, whatever.
Right.
But with the TiVo unit, the whole DVR stuff, it comes with this viewed app, and this is really, really cool. This is what I'm talking about with the content that we have here that comes with the price of the TiVo unit. That includes movies, TV shows, it includes fitness and sports and games and all kinds of different content that you can get. Right here, focus right here. That you're actually watching this content over the internet. It's not coming through your TV. We're streaming over the top now through these apps.
And these are free?
These are free as part of the price of the content. So you get all your particular movies. Looking at the top, we have at all right now, but I can go to movies and TV series. I have all kinds of different games, poker, solitaire, Texas Hold'em, Pac-Man, Alien Shooter, all kinds of games are built in here.
You don't have to go, like you can be in front of your television, and you don't have to get up
Yeah.
and go to your computer, you could just do it right here.
Yep, you can play
Well, that's
solitaire
kind of
right
nice.
in here. Yep.
Although now I'm going to be lazy.
Right, yeah. And then now, internet TV. Internet TV, eventually, all TV is going to go over your internet. You're not going to have a channel 6 or a channel 5 or channel 4. You're going to have Cops. You're going to have Watch Mojo.
Right.
This is the future of what television. You won't be channel surfing through
Right.
like a regular classical sense.
Right.
You're going to be going to your internet TV and flipping through your channels like so.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then, of course, we have tons of music channels that are on here. Any type of jazz, blues, rock, pop, you name it. Sports, lifestyle, technology, kids, nature and travel. It goes on and on and on. So the features are definitely well worth it to
Right.
for the TiVo unit. Just for the online free content alone, I think it's worth the price of.
Yeah, and then the channel guide, thank goodness. I mean, this is a big TV, but you know, most people have fairly good sized smart TVs.
Yeah.
And what I had noticed with the one that I'm using is that they're so tiny.
Yeah.
And you bring up the guide and you can't read anything. At least this has nice.
It has a
large
good sized
screen.
guide. This is a big screen, and I'll have to work with our technicians, but I do believe you can change the font size too to make it
Oh, you
larger.
can?
Yeah, so
Oh, that's
we'll play that by ear, and when we
Okay.
roll out these units, we want to have them pre set up for our clientele.
Right, okay, so how much is all of this?
Okay, great. That's good question. Okay, just for the actual TiVo unit alone, the unit is $24.95 a month.
Okay.
But the installation fee for the service is a bit more pricey because, again, we're
Right.
building a whole home network.
Right.
The installation fee is $100. Okay.
One time.
One-time $100 installation fee. I think for the regular DVR, it's a $40 installation fee.
Okay.
Okay, this goes into your main room. That's $24.95 a month. It includes all the DVR functionality, all the over-the-top streaming, and all that free content I just showed you.
Okay.
But to get your other TVs in your room to be able to connect to this, there's a separate charge. It's $7.95 a month for the secondary TVs to connect to this room. So it's not just $24.95.
Right.
Okay, we price this in such a way that if, let's say you're a resident now and you have multiple DVRs in your home, you're paying I think it's $19.25 for your first DVR, $13.25 for your secondary DVR. So we're trying to get it where you can have the $24.95 plus the $7.25, trying to get it in the same ballpark as far
Well,
as
and
the
it's
cost.
much more streamlined.
Yeah, much more streamlined.
Okay. Okay.
Also, if your cable modem is next to your main viewing area, you can hook the DVR up to it directly. You don't need any additional components. However, if you have your cable modem that's in your office in some back closet someplace, the TiVo unit needs to have internet access. So there
Right.
might be some additional components that you need. As the components additional $50. If your main viewing TV is not in the same location that your router is in, your cable modem is in, you have to buy an additional piece of equipment. So that could be $50 additional as well.
Right, so I mean, there's a
Right.
lot that goes into it as a
Yeah.
one-time thing,
Yeah.
but then thereafter, there's
Yeah.
just those monthly
It's just
charges.
the $24.95 for
Okay.
the main box and the $7.25 for the other box.
Okay, so not bad,
Yeah.
not bad. Now, with all of this, where do they go? How
Oh.
do they find out about it?
Right. For right now, we have a waiting list been going on. You call the broadband services number.
Okay.
We'll get that
There
out
it
there
is,
for you.
it's 837-2670.
Yep. You just call that number and tell them that you're looking to get on the TVR waiting list, and then we'll get you on the list and we'll work through you as first come, first serve. So, and again, in mid-April to early part of May, we'll start rolling the services out, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll get a couple hundred people utilizing the new technology.
Now, sometimes we end up having people come up to our station here on the third floor.
Right.
Let everybody know where Broadband Services is located.
That's a great question, or great, well, I'll elaborate on that. So broadband services used to be on the third floor. So if you had a set-top box or a problem with your remote control, you used to come to the TV6 area or broadband service on the third floor. You don't do that anymore.
Right.
We made it really simple for you, especially for the folks in wheelchairs and walkers and canes and whatnot. As soon as you come into the front door of the community center, you hang a left right into resident services, and right there at window 9, we have a dedicated cable services rep.
Right.
They can issue you your box there. If you don't want to do a home install, if you want to do your self-install, you can come pick up your box, you can come drop off your box, you can come get a new remote control, we'll replace the batteries for you, whatever you need to do. But again, broadband services on the first floor in resident services, window number 9.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, you've heard it here from Chuck. Thank you so much. It was really nice to see you again
Okay,
and
great.
for all the great information. And if you have any broadband questions, you can call that number that Chuck mentioned. But most importantly, remember that Broadband Services is located on the first floor of the Community Services Building, and you can go to window number 9. We'll be right back after this.
Dr. Christine Chung with 7-Day Dental has served Laguna Woods for 17 years. Her office is close, her staff is the best, and she offers great discounts for Laguna Woods.
I have been a patient of Dr. Christine Chung at 7-Day Dental for 15 years. She and her staff are exceptional.
You may know me from Village Television. I would not go anywhere else for dental care than 7-Day Dental.
7-Day Dental, simply your best choice.
Life changes, but your routine doesn't have to. With Coastal Medical Alert, you are never alone. With Coastal Medical Alert, there are no hidden fees, setup fees, and your installation and activation of your device are absolutely free.
Coastal Medical Alert is a wonderful thing to have, and I wouldn't be without it.
Coastal Medical Alert, proudly serving the Laguna Woods community. Call today for more information.
Well, with me right now is Sue B. Parks, and she is the Orange County United Way's president and CEO, and she is on to talk about homelessness and what the United Way is doing about it. Welcome.
Thank you, Ken. I'm so glad to be here.
Nice to have you on today. Before we came on, we were talking, and obviously right now, this is huge. I mean, right literally this minute in the news, because we have the initiative somewhat, I don't know who's for it and who's against it now, on the Board of Supervisors and with the tent city, so to speak. There's been a huge amount of backlash with that right now. And interesting, you don't know what side each supervisor is on because they keep changing. So let's go back a little bit, because I know the United Way started this initiative a while back. And one of the catalysts from this that you just told me about is looking at other places that have taken this upon themselves and kind of changed the focus and direction. So tell us how this got started and what the initial plan is for this.
Okay, well, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to share what's going on, because it's such an important topic and so timely with everything happening. A few years ago, the United Way was looking at what was going on in the community. What do we really need to do to help make this community even better? If we woke up 10 years later, what we'd want the headlines in Orange County to be? And one of those we started looking at was actually homeless children and housing insecure children. And there are 28,000 of children in Orange County that are living in either they're homeless or they're in a housing insecure, maybe a motel or bouncing around. And we started looking at that issue and saying, this is something that we as a community need to rally around and help. And in doing that, we realized there needs to be more data. We need to understand really what's happening with the situation, why is it growing, what the cost of it is. And so we went with ourselves in Jamboree Housing and the ACCOC, the city organization. We commissioned a study with UCI, and we got some of the top researchers at UCI to really take a serious look at this issue and to help us understand what is going on in this whole homelessness area. And out of that, and that was published last year, and it's you can find it on our site in terms of going on Orange County United Way's website. But anyway, what happened is we found out that the cost of homelessness to this community is $300 million a year, just managing it on the streets. And if we house the people that are most vulnerable, the chronically ill, we'd save half of that amount of money. So we're like, wow, this is really intriguing stuff. And so then we said, let's take a step back and look at best practices. Who's doing this really well around the country, and how are they doing it? Who's made a real dent in their homelessness population? And in doing that, we uncovered some different cities, but we really landed on Orlando, Florida as being somewhat an interesting model. And so again, that was one of the things that we took a look at as best practices, but they had cut their street homelessness 50% in 3 years. Yes. Yeah.
And also interesting, although this has nothing to do with that, that Orlando is also in Orange County.
It is. Yes, and there are similarities.
Let me ask you this, and it's something that I was listening to a radio station and someone came on and talked about this issue. I forget who it was, but it might have been one of the supervisors here. But they sort of categorize the homelessness in 3 or 4 categories. You have, and so, of course they overlap, but people with some sort of mental illness, people who are, have addictions to whatever it may be. It could have been illegal drugs, it could have been opioids, it could have been anything. And then you have the individuals that are maybe a family or that for some reason, not of their own doing, lost their job, lost their housing. Do you kind of see it that way in those 3, or maybe there's 4 or 5 basic categories?
Yeah, so when and I'll go back to the cost study that I mentioned that we did, one of the interesting things that came out of that is that we found that the average homeless person in Orange County was a 50-year-old male who had lived here over 10 years, and they'd had some disruption in their life. Maybe they got ill and had a disabling condition, or they lost their job, or something happened in their life that caused them to lose their home. They got behind in rent for 2 or 3 months. So no question, that's a big part. I think also the study found there's those chronically homeless, the people that have maybe there's mental illness, maybe there's some other issue, that they're never going to be self-sufficient, as we would say self-sufficient, which is what was referred to as the chronically homeless, that those folks we really, really need to do something about right away. And I think as we start peeling back, all of these things can be segments. There are veterans on our street, people who fought for us that need to be taken care of. There are single women out there, and certainly their families. So one of the projects that we're doing as we get all together, start understanding those segments and who's out there, and how do we house the most vulnerable as quickly as possible.
Well, that's a very good point that you brought up. You know, on one end are the families that maybe lost a job and through unforeseen circumstances. Those are probably, in some cases, the easiest people to help, because there's not a mental illness. It's getting them back on their feet again. But with people who are chronically homeless, have the mental illness, the question is, are they now going to be taken care of for another 30, 40 years of their life by the state, by the taxpayers, by the United Way? How do you look at that?
Well, I'm going to go back and share a best practice that I was mentioning in Orlando, Florida. And you know, what they found is, and I'll say that some other similarities, they had about 3 million in their population in their area that they were measuring. It's about the same here. The point of time count, which is the HUD count of homelessness, it's done the same way every time it's done, so it's a nice baseline. That we were with 50 people or something. It was like we have about 4,800 here, as they would look at Orange County, California, and they had maybe 4,750 or something. It was so close. But what they found is that when they went to the chronically homeless and they offered them housing first, a place to live, that changed everything in terms of them wanting to go and to be into a place where they didn't have to wake up every night, worry that something, that they were going to go the next day. And that comes with, and that type of housing situation comes with that care. And that care makes such a difference, that there's a case manager looking in and making sure that you get back on your medication, that you have the services and support, and you're taking care of yourself. And they found that these people really thrive with that kind of program. And maybe there's some folks that would be able to go back to work, but really what we're talking about is a population that, as a community, we all need to realize that we need to help. And there's government money, maybe there's philanthropy money, but together as a community we need to come together and do this. And that's what they did very well in that particular market, and I know we can do here.
Did some of those people end up becoming self-sufficient, or has the study not gone on long enough?
You know, I think in terms of when somebody has a chronic disabling condition, that might be hard to expect that is going to be the typical outcome. But we had a gentleman, we did a kickoff. We built together this amazing group of business leaders and philanthropy leaders and faith leaders and government leaders to come together united to end homelessness. And if you want to learn what we're doing, it's unitedtoendhomelessness.org. In terms of doing that. But when we did the kickoff at UCI on February 28th, we had a gentleman there, and he went by Santa Bob was his name, and he had developed a disease. He was chronically homeless, and he actually told his story. He was able to lived on the streets for a while, but worked his way to being in a place that he felt he could help others who fell in that
Right.
his situation, and got a job. It's not going to be the type of job that's going to allow him to be self-sufficient forever, right?
Right.
But he's helping other people realize that they can get their life back in order and do a life that's fulfilling as well. So that might be a rare story, but those stories exist, and it's heartening to know that by helping somebody, they're willing and now
Right.
able to help others.
What about the housing? Where does that go? And again, you know, we've seen what's happening right now, that people don't want to see tents surrounded their elementary school, their homes, and those areas. So those communities look like in for a long, protracted fight with the county right now. So that whole thing could change. But people that are, you know, paying their own way, have a nice home and all that, they don't want to see that in their neighborhood, so to speak. So what is your plan as far as housing these people?
So the tents that you're talking about, you know, if those are temporary, we're really focused on permanent solutions, you know, the long-term solutions. There is a really vibrant plan in terms of for the community about building this type of housing that comes with the permanent supportive care. If all of us did, if every city had a piece of that, it is spread out over the whole county. And some of these, they're so gorgeous. I've seen plans for some of them. No one would know that it's not any different than any other complex that's going up. So I think that what we'd love to do is people to really become aware that these are people that we're talking about, people who aren't problems. These are people with problems, and that as a community we can step up and help them. As I said in the cost study, it's more economical as taxpayers for us to get the people who need housing and services housed. So it's a financial thing, but it's also they're real people. Something happened, they're not able to take care of themselves, so it's good for our heart too. So if people get educated on this, I think people will be more open-minded and not thinking that they're not looking at a tent, they're looking at a complex that, you know, might have some folks out there. They did in Orlando, Florida, they put 2,000 people in scattered sites around their community that came with permanent supportive care, care that they need, and you know, with virtually no other problem, because everybody occasionally has a bad neighbor, right?
Yeah,
but overall, it's really seamless, very smooth, and it seemed to work out really well because these people come with support, they come with care, and the faith community can come in and help provide community for those folks that don't have family in the area or, you know, don't have like a network of people to rely on. There's a role for all of us together to do what's right, and it's both economically and it's good for our hearts too.
What about looking beyond Orange County, being that this is one of the most expensive places to live, as we know, and seeing other solutions of other cities that they may go to, or do the other cities have the same problem? You know, outside of California, where it's 1/3 the cost to live.
Yeah, it's a problem across our country, and that's what one of the things that we found as we started looking at situations, and I think every community set up to do, setting up to see how they can support their own community. It is around the country. I do believe that every time one of the first things that is offered if they find somebody isn't from our location is the service providers have ways to, you know, offer people to get them back home, connect them with their family if they, for some reason, aren't from here, and their family that can help. Because a lot of times people, especially if they have maybe a mental illness or something, aren't in touch, and we can help make that happen. The service provider community would love to make that happen. But many people are from here, and they don't have those networks, and we need to help them. All right, very good. The website is UnitedToEndHomelessness.org. So you can go on there and find out more information. And you know, good luck with this, and I'm sure we'll have you on maybe with an update in a few months and see how it's all going. I would love to come back and give you an update and help make sure. Sue, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you for coming on, and we'll be right back.
Are you or someone you know having difficulty with day-to-day activities? I'm Lori with Act2Care. You want to stay in your home but worry about falling or losing your independence. We at ActiCare can help. A personalized plan is designed with as much or as little care as you need. Please call for a free care consultation to make your life easier and more enjoyable.
ActiCare, responsive in-home care. Your first day is free. Please call us for details.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
You've trusted the doctors at Harvard Eye Associates with your eyes for the last 4 decades. Now it's time to trust us with your face. Our board-certified surgeons and aesthetic nurse offer the latest in facial aesthetic treatments, such as Botox, dermal fillers, laser skin rejuvenation, eyelid surgery, and face and neck lip surgery. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cosmetic consultation. 949-951-2020. Ask about our limited time savings on Botox and dermal fillers.
Managing your own medication can be stressful. For decades, we have watched you stand in line at your local pharmacy and battle with insurance companies, all to be left with the difficult task of organizing, managing, and remembering to take your medication. AmeriPharma offers a new way of simplifying the lives of you and your loved ones.
In previous years, I didn't require any prescriptions, but now I have to take about 7 or 8 due to various conditions. It's a management problem. My nurse told me about AmeriPharma's MedBox. I switched over. Boy, am I glad I did. It's really easy to use and it's solved all my problems.
Get your medications delivered to your door. You'll receive your pre-sorted MedBox that easily allows you to tear and take the required medication regimen at the plainly printed date and time. AmeriPharma MedBox, the new standard in medication management.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Well, we'll get to the weather in just a moment. It is raining though. I'm looking at the Doppler online. But anyway, Lisa is here, and the reason, well, you're here.
Well, I'm just here because Jennifer wasn't able to make it, but she'll be here next week. She promised me. But I did want to go ahead and give you the Globe headlines. So on the front page, we have a bad clothes day. Group Doan's fashion faux pas for what not to wear event. 18 models strutted the runway looking their absolute worst, which ironically was the objective. Inspired by the 10th season of TLC show's What Not to Wear, the Theater Guild asked its members to throw their bad clothes not in a trash can, but on their bodies for the Thursday, March 15th meeting that showcased a fashion faux pas runway show. And I know we have some pictures in there, so hopefully we'll get those up and we'll be able to show you the crazy outfits. Each model walked out to a narration given by their partner, backed by music for about 110 attendees. It was absolutely hysterical. Just like the last time when we had Mary here with those two. Oh, there we go. Look at their crazy outfits.
Now, and the lady with the parasol, that she borrowed from you, right? That outfit? I'm not sure.
Yeah, how'd you know? Wait, we're going to get to your there's
there
yours,
I am. There's
right
me.
there.
Yes.
There's your outfit.
I love the shoes.
I know. And you know what was really funny, just like we had Mary on here, is they had a narration and something said about each piece of clothing. So Mary Zolli is actually going to be here next month to tell us about it and clue us in on their next fun event.
The shoes are great. I wonder if you painted those or you bought them that way.
I'm sure you can have them made that way. Okay, then on to more serious stuff. We have Third Mutual standardizes alter alterations and
Alterations.
alterations discusses transit. I can read. The third mutual board tabled talk on adopting a handyman program and sifted through the next round of alteration standard revisions at Third Mutual's meeting on Tuesday, March 20th. Golden Rain, United Mutual seek candidates to fill vacancies, as Ken had mentioned earlier. Both GRF and United are seeking candidates to fill vacancies on their board. Applicants are invited to obtain an application and instructions at the General Manager's office in the Community Center. United applications are due by noon on Friday, March 30th. That's next week. Or actually, it's about a week from a week from now. GRF applications are due by noon on Wednesday, March 28th. And in local sports, we have the lawn bowlers who are absolutely ecstatic about their new greens. The third annual Bow Beer tournament will be held March 31st. Sign-up sheets are at the Shack, and look at how gorgeous that is. I'd love to bowl on that.
Yeah.
That looks nice. Looks good. Looks really good. Okay, and then also, the pickleballers are also very happy. We have a lot of happy people.
Yes.
The GRF Community Activities Committee voted unanimously to approve their project, and they will have 7 dual-use courts, and that will be very exciting for them. And then the golf putter patters, 18, scored against Rancho Bernardo with results 12 gross and 11 net. So awesome news, and that's those are ones that are in the local sports in the middle of the paper. Then we have letters to the editor, mostly good news to report. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm just going to tell you the headlines. We have kudos for security. They stepped up to the plate, and when someone needed some help with some toilets. And then cheers for Grandparents' Revenge. People really like that, so congrats to the Theater Guild. Thanks to neighbors, they're helping out in a time of need. And all these letters and others are on page 12. And that's it for the Globe.
Very good. Now we're going to tell you about our movies coming up this week. And if you are into superheroes, you will love this. If you're not, well, you know, next time. But this first movie I really love from Marvel, Thor Ragnarok, and this stars Chris Hemsworth, of course, as Thor. As Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard, that's his home planet, to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his home world and the end of his civilization on that planet, at the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. And
I like it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Here he is battling, he's battling Hulk, and what was funny about that, of course, he sees Hulk, he's put into an arena against him, and he goes, wait a second, I know him from work.
Yeah,
but,
some kind of work.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I think you will really enjoy this if you like the whole Marvel universe. It's a good one, it really is. And it does lead into the next movie that's coming out any day now, Avengers Infinity War.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of superhero movies.
Yes.
And then the other one we have on Monday is Justice League. And that stars Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and it's directed by Zack Snyder. And it's got all of your favorites, including mine, Wonder Woman and Aquaman. It is fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act. Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, which is Wonder Woman, and to face an even greater enemy. So it's very action-packed, very fun, you know, draws in all the characters. And like I mentioned, Aquaman is a new character, and that's kind of exciting, you know. He's good looking dude,
I liked Wonder
strong.
Woman.
It's all good.
Wonder Woman was very well done. That
well,
was
the
probably,
movie, was good.
That was a well-received movie. It had critically acclaim. She did a great job. And you can see in the poster there, she's front and center.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it drew a pretty good amount at the box office, too.
Did.
So this one is on Monday, March 26th, and both of our movies are brought to you by Hogue.
Yeah, so some
stuff.
very good movies, and whether you're like the Marvel world or the DC world or both, we have them for you. Here's our upcoming films, and we got some good ones from you. Allison Janney won Best Supporting Actress for I, Tonya, the story of Tonya Harding, and really goes back to her childhood and how she grew up, and it tells the backstory all the way up to the infamous U.S. championships and the whole Nancy Kerrigan thing,
right? Which
in some cases was quite comical in the way it was played out. And this movie has a little bit of everything in it. I think you'll like it. And again, it was up for several awards, and Allison Janney won, so she did a great job. She played the mom.
Right.
Did you see this?
I did not yet.
Okay. It's supposed to be good. Coming up in April, Jumanji, which is an action-packed movie based on a video game. Then we have Star Wars, of course, The Last Jedi, very good. And Faceless Places, which is a documentary, very interesting on that. Okay. And Molly's Game.
I heard a lot of good things about that.
Yeah, which is kind of an intrigue, right?
Well, it's about gambling.
Oh, that's right. That's based on a true story.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And we got some other great movies coming up. In April, Lady Bird, that was up for, actually that was an Academy Award winner for Best Actress. And Downsizing, the Florida Project, a very interesting movie. And
I saw that. It's actually, it is interesting. I knew nothing about it when I started it, and then it was intriguing. I didn't realize there were such things that was going on in Orlando, Florida, right outside of Disneyland.
Yeah, and it's really, who was in this? William Dafoe.
Yes.
Was that, am I right?
Yep.
Who was also up for Best Actor on this. So it's a very different kind of movie. Looking forward to that. Breathe, and of course Phantom Thread, which was up for several awards as well.
Exactly. Good stuff.
We got a lot, don't we, coming up as far as the movies go.
Yep.
I know that if you are interested in a great fun presentation, Blythe Spirit, right? You know all about that.
Well,
From the Old Pros?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you knew about that play.
No, only because I saw them taping something in honor of it yesterday.
Okay. Well, you know, it's Noel Coward's, and it's a ghostly comedy, and there's a little bit that we did yesterday that you'll see in the upcoming Food, Friends, and Fun in April. And it's going to be a good one. A lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of people know this production. It's been done many times throughout the country. Excellent. But this looks, they've added a little twist to this to make it local.
Fun.
So there you go.
Good. All right.
And then the Equestrian Center Easter event. Now, you probably heard the Easter buffet is sold out. This is different. Right. This is the one that you don't need to RSVP. It's going to be on Saturday, March 31st over at the Equestrian Center. It's for the kids and families. They're going to have bounce houses and the Easter Bunny and Easter egg hunt, all kinds of things.
Looks fun.
Yeah,
Looks
it
fun.
does.
And then what about the Village Games? We'll mention it one more time.
Yeah,
the Village Games are coming. The registration's already started. April 8th, opening ceremonies. April 9th, Village Games begin, and April 30th, closing ceremonies. And for Village residents only, call 597-4273 for more information. And weather, real quick?
Weather, it is. I'm looking at Doppler, and it's like the area right around us in Mission Viejo and all doesn't have rain. Everything else has scattered showers to moderate rain. So it is coming in. Do expect it. Scattered to heavy rain today, maybe up to an inch or so or even more. Maybe morning showers tomorrow if it spills over. This is slow moving, so I think it'll probably spill over at least to the early morning. And then we're going to clear up for the weekend and beyond.
Good.
It looks like some sunny weather going forward. So there you have it. I said there may be getting snow up in Big Bear in those areas.
It's going to be pretty high elevation.
Yeah, high. It's going to be more rain, but
yeah,
we'll see.
It's warm. And then on tomorrow's show, we have Dan Oweiler with the Sterling Financial Advisors, Carol Moore, City Council meeting report, and Janie Durrell and Kurt Wyman with the United Update. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care. I'm sorry, I thought you